Someone stop me. Well,
somebody stop me, keep my body rocking till late night. I wanted you. Anybody ever watched What a Girl Wants?
Soup? Seriously? Soup.
What kind of cheesecake do I want? This slice of cheesecake is 1,000 calories.
Scoobers.
Very cherry Ghirardelli chocolate cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory is 1,000.
Very cherry.
Mm-hmm.
I just had the Oreo Extreme.
Dream Extreme.
Yep.
That one's
Explosion. And then I had an Oreo explosion in my pants.
Do you want to know how many calories are in the Oreo Dream Extreme?
1,800.
No. See, you're so bad at this because you're so good at it that you're like, it can't be shocking, you know, because you always go over. It's 1,500 calories.
Okay, that's a whole day of food.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so, I mean.
A little less.
Most
people need more than that, but
right.
Want to give positive reputation. Oh, okay, so their fresh strawberry is only 1,000. So basically, there's nothing you can do. The original with absolutely nothing on it is 830. Wow, I should stop looking at this. This is very discouraging. One day, there was a day that I ate 2 slices of cheesecake from Cheesecake.
Listen,
that was like 3,000 calories just cheesecake.
But we have those days. It's okay, because you're not eating 2 pieces of cheesecake every single day.
I'm not.
It was just one day.
I'm not.
It was just one day.
Oh my god, I am.
And calories reset every day. Like, you need more new calories every day. So, was Ian asking to get you, or was he going to get you one for Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys split a piece?
That's what I'm telling him.
Oh, okay.
Because he said, should we split a piece or do you want your own slice? And I was like, yeah, I want my own slice. And now I'm like, never mind, I don't.
Aww.
Toxic diet culture. I'm participating in it.
Tell me what the difference is between toxic diet culture and actually just making choices that help you get to your goals.
Well, I think there is a difference. Can you make my voice a little bit louder? I feel like I'm hearing myself from a different room. That's perfect.
Oh, great. Okay. There we go.
I think there is a difference. I just don't know what it is. Because I'm still riding that wave so hard of just like not being able to differentiate when I'm trying to choose health for myself versus when I'm like dipping into that toxic mindset again. And so that's something I'm still trying to parse out for myself as someone who struggles with their weight, struggles with their relationship with food, but also for their health needs to lose weight from a scientific perspective. It's difficult. And so like, yeah, like I think there is an argument to be made of like, just have the whole piece of cheesecake, and mentally that's better for you to just not feel restricted and to enjoy a holiday and do whatever. But then there's also that like, will I be able to do that and enjoy that? Or will I be like panicking inside about the amount of calories? And do you resist that panic or do you give in to the panic? Like, which one is better? Like, I don't know. Today I'm choosing to just split the freaking 1,000-calorie piece of cheesecake.
And I think that's a great compromise. Like, if you can't decide, where you're making the decision from, you're not restricting yourself to the point that you're saying, absolutely, it's too many calories, so I'm not going to have any. But you're also not saying, like, well, just screw it, and I'll just have 2 pieces of cheesecake today, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll have a little bit, and I'll feel a little bit of panic about how many calories is in this thing, but I want to enjoy Valentine's Day night with my husband, and that can include sharing a piece of cheesecake.
Yeah.
So
So
I also struggle with what is being kind to myself and what's being like too lenient. Like, what's the difference? Oh, this is something I've been meaning to bring back up because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. And you had mentioned wanting to talk about it, but I've been starting to meet with a registered dietitian.
Oh, yeah. We never talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
You just dropped that lore and then never brought it up again.
Yeah. So, because I still don't know exactly what we're doing. And I still don't know exactly the point. I know the point of meeting with a registered dietitian. I just don't really believe that it's going to work yet.
Okay. Well, what is the goal of meeting with her? Like, what is she helping you with?
So the goal of meeting with her is to essentially heal my self-image of, like, my body and how I eat and get it to a point where it doesn't revolve, my mindset doesn't revolve around making decisions based out of how I look or how I want to look.
Yeah.
But they're based out of health and nutrition and other goals that I have for my life outside of how my body looks. Just so many of my thoughts revolve around weight loss and this, like, fantasy body and basically hanging my hopes on, like, if my body just looked this way or felt this way, then all of my problems would be solved.
Yeah.
It's basically like therapy for, like, food, I guess.
Okay.
And I think because I don't believe I, like, truly have a problem, like, I don't have an eating disorder. Like, I don't have a diagnosed eating disorder. And I don't really, I do have, like, disordered eating, I think. And so I think seeing someone who is a professional in this area, to me, I'm like, well, I don't have a sickness that validates or requires me to, like, get help for this certain issue. But then when we start peeling back the layers and really talking about it, I start to realize, like, oh my gosh, everything in my life revolves around, like, wanting to lose weight. My assignment for between our sessions this time is to come up with goals for my life that don't have anything to do with my body.
Okay.
Like, doesn't have anything to do with, I'd like to lose this amount of pounds by this date. Or they can do with, like, I'd like to have more movement, or I'd like to feel stronger. I'm having a really hard time finding things that are goals that I don't also in my mind tack on, like, but I, like, also want to lose weight.
Okay.
You know? And so oh my gosh, that's such a long-winded way to, like, say that I'm struggling with, like, the difference between, like, how do you heal your thoughts about your own body and your body image and turn it to something where you're, like, genuinely concerned about your own health and, like, your own nutrition and your own well-being that doesn't have to do with, like, the aesthetic of how your body looks. But then how do you also have goals for your body that are, like, tied to the way it looks?
Yeah.
And I just don't know how to untangle that web. And, like, every time I meet with her, it's very frustrating because we talk about these things and she's like, okay, well, that's still kind of, you know, is at the end of the day about how your body looks. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I want it to look different, you know?
Duh, Karen, are you not hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I know we're supposed to be healing the whatever, like, body image things I've absorbed over the years and, like, these silent messages I've picked up and these silent, like, patterns I've developed in my brain about it. But at the same time, it's like, but when do I start losing weight?
Right.
You know?
Like, when does the secret side effect of me actually getting the thing that I want?
Seriously, because it's like, I just want it to be so formulaic and so just a clear-cut answer. Like, here's what you do to fix this issue, and it's just not that straightforward. And I have noticed an increasing panic setting in because theoretically, I will probably be having some major life events happening in the next year that have to do with
what could that be?
dum dum da dum. And those are events that I would like to look a certain way, I guess, on those particular days of your life.
On those life event days.
Yeah, on those nondescript life event days. And you only, theoretically, like, you only get one shot at it. And it's always been this thing in the future where I'm like, well...
That's why I cut all my hair off the day before my life event day.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, this is forever.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to get a haircut.
Listen, you were 18.
Yeah.
So
I was not making great decisions.
Makes sense to me.
The marriage was a good decision. The haircutting was not.
Maybe.
I mean, the life event was a good decision.
Yes.
The nondescript life event that may or may not have happened.
Yeah, but totally.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, it's okay. But my whole life, when I've thought about nondescript life events happening, it's like, it's always been like so far off in a distance, and I always had it as like my backup plan of like, if I haven't lost weight by then like when this thing is getting ready to happen, that will be like my back wall of like last line of defense. I will have to lose the weight by then because there's no reality where I could possibly go into this event being as heavy or heavier than I am, or like not happy with my body. Mm-hmm. And there's just no way. Like, somehow this event is going to will me to make the changes that I want to make. And it's approaching, like, actually really approaching, like, not like, oh, I'm just getting older, so it's probably going to happen soon. Like, there's actually the pieces of the puzzle that needed to be there are like actually in the puzzle now.
Yeah,
you know
gotcha. I'm like, picking up what you're stepping in. I mean, what?
And so it's not just a fantasy in my head anymore. It's like these things are actually really happening, and now I'm like, and I don't feel I don't have any more motivation than I had before. I don't, if anything, it's like stressful panic, like, oh no. Like, what if I get to that point and then like, I'm not where I want to be with my body. And then I'm going to regret for the rest of my life how I look in these photos. And it's not lost on me, the timing of meeting with this registered dietitian, because the work that her and I are doing is all about like separating my contentment and like separating my worth and my value and my purpose in life from how my body looks. Mm-hmm. And I think I used to believe that people who have fluctuated in weight, or there's a specific girl on Instagram that I'm thinking about where she had this like really nice, societally nice body, like very toned, very muscular, and now she has put on like more weight since then. She's had kids and all that stuff, and she has like I don't know how you would describe it, but it's like, she has like a belly, but it's like a it looks kind of like a pregnant belly, but it's not a pregnant belly. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't.
I feel like there's similar people on the interwebs now like that. But she's all about like embracing your body where it's at, and she finds clothes that fit her like as her body is now, and she is just a spokesperson for like, hey, listen, like I feel more secure and like I love my body even more now than I did when it looked aesthetically pleasing to other people, you know. And I was definitely in the camp of like, that's not possible, you know, because there's a lot of people that comment on our stuff and there's no way, like, you're just lying, like that's there's no way you can feel better about your body when it looks like this and it used to look like that. But now I am moving into the camp of I believe it, because
you know what? Maybe
maybe it's actually not about what your body looks like, and it's about how you talk about yourself to yourself in your mind. And like that battle is so crucial, and I think it would be easier to be able to just change your body, and then like that would then change your mindset. But you really have to like, and I think you could probably relate too, because I feel like we've both been kind of on this trajectory the last couple years of like kind of fighting with our bodies and like wanting change, but then not knowing how to implement the change, and then dealing with what kind of change is healthy and what kind of change is not healthy. And so that's really I don't know. It's just hard because then, but at the end of the day, I'm still like, but I still want to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to marry like appreciation of where your body's at and what it gives you, and not tying everything in your life to how your body looks, but also like having desires and goals and things that you like want your body to be able to do. And I don't know. So those are my thoughts on.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel like I'm kind of going through that a little bit right now. Just in the last couple of weeks specifically. So I actually, going into a little bit of my lore, I like I previously mentioned, have struggled with my body and my relationship with food for pretty much as long as I can remember, since I was like a child. And I went on Weight Watchers for the first time when I was like 12.
Seriously though.
Yeah. And so I've just really struggled with it. And then a couple years ago, I wish I could remember how long ago exactly, but I don't remember. But for the first time in my life, I didn't make a New Year's resolution to lose weight. So this was probably 2 or 3 years ago, maybe a little more. And my New Year's resolution was to not diet at all for that year. I was like, I'm not going to diet. I'm not going to try to lose weight. I'm not going to say that I'm dieting. I'm not going to do any of that. I just decided that I wasn't going to diet. And it was great. I like didn't lose any weight. In fact, I think I gained a little weight, believe it or not, because I still struggled with binging. I still struggled with food for comfort and that sort of thing. And so I definitely physically, like, was it the best choice or New Year's resolution? Like, probably not. Like, in the end, it was probably a little bit bad for my body, but it enabled me, I feel like. And then I did the same. I didn't make a resolution about it, but I didn't diet at all the next year either. So I did about 2 years where I wasn't trying to lose weight at all. And I feel like it opened the door for me to be able to now, I hate to use the word diet, but I'm going to use it because it's a descriptor of what it is, of being able to adhere to a calorie deficit, to choose healthier options, because I was able to just sort of mentally relax a little bit for that period of time and not think about food all the time, not think about my body all the time. And I feel like it gave me a chance to start that journey of like appreciating my body, like what you're talking about, like seeing my body for the blessings that it's given me and the way that it carries me through life, and that it is more valuable than just the way it looks, or the way society has said this is what looks good and what doesn't look good. And I last year decided that I was ready to start losing weight again. And it was an up and down ride, which I think is normal. And I totally expected that because I think part of that whole mindset shift is also changing from like a 90-day fix or like a really quick diet to lose weight as fast as you can, to realizing that weight loss and health choices are about consistency and long-term choices. And so I lost about 25 pounds last year, which is fine, which is good. I'm happy with that. And I haven't lost any more yet. I'm hovering around that same goalposts. But this last couple weeks, I've just been really, really struggling. Like, I feel like I've lost that sort of balance of like I feel like I had a good handle on like wanting to lose weight for my health, because I genuinely was like, wow, my cholesterol is really high and my blood pressure is high, and I have a history in my family of diabetes, and I have a history of like heart attacks and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like I want to be healthy when I'm old, and I want to be able to do all these things. Like I feel like I really succeeded in my mindset shift of like what was a goal for me and what was important to me and what wasn't. And now, like, just in the past, like, I know I keep repeating myself, but the last couple of weeks, like, I have just, like, reverted back so hard, and I don't know exactly why, and I don't know how to fix it. Like, I literally have caught myself thinking, like, how did I do this last year? Like, what was I thinking about? Like, I thought I was so different, and I was doing things so differently, and now I'm, like, stuck again, and, it's been really hard. And yeah, just caught in that sort of feeling of like desperate for yourself to change, but knowing that the only real key to change is to slow down and to change your mindset and to like not want the same things that you want anymore, but you can't help but want the things that you want.
Yeah.
And just feeling terrible about yourself. I don't feel terrible about myself, but just like I am feeling like my mood today is like crappy. And part of it is because I didn't really go to the gym this week, and I went one time. Okay. I didn't go this morning.
Oh,
when
you
I was
didn't?
supposed
Okay.
to. No.
I was going to ask you how it was.
Normally, Chris and I go to the gym together on Fridays, but she's recovering from a cold, so she wasn't wanting to work out, and I just decided to take the day to not go.
Sure.
And I wish that I had, because working out does make me feel really good. I really love working out. But this week I just have not felt like going, and so I just haven't gone, and I feel like crap. But like, it's like, why? Like, this is something you do for your own enjoyment. Like, why are you making it this big deal that you didn't go? Like, because it's something you enjoy doing. But it's like, I can already see, like, my mindset's like, well, I got it. Like, I ate so bad this week, so I need to go work out. Or like when I eat bad, like even today, I haven't eaten anything today, and I haven't thought anything about it, but I know like there's a part of my brain that was like, well, you ate bad last night and you're making this big dinner tonight. Like, why are you gonna like, and that's not where I want to be. Like, that's not healthy. And it's not an active like choice, but I keep putting off. I'm sorry for making this podcast really inappropriate or triggering, because I didn't mean to open up this floodgate, but I'm just realizing like, oh, I haven't eaten today. And then anytime I realize it, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to remind myself to eat. I'm just going to wait.
Yeah. Like, you're not intentionally not eating, but you're also not intentionally eating.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's not something, I wish I had a nicer way to tie this up for the podcast, because this is a little bit of a weird conversation, but I am trying to figure that out, because I feel like I was on the path towards a more healthy relationship in that way, and it's something I'm working towards, but it has been really just up and down. And the past few weeks I've just been eating a lot for comfort.
Yeah.
And
same.
I have just not been mentally dealing with that well.
Yeah.
And so I'm still caught in that and trying to figure out what I need to do differently. But I've rested on that, like, well, I need to get back in that mindset of telling myself that my body is fine. And I know that sounds like, oh, my body's fine, like, stop it, Mom. But I remember like saying that to myself over the past few years of just like, versus body positivity versus like body neutrality. I tend to lean more towards the body neutrality, which is just like, your body is a vessel. Like, body positivity is like, my body is amazing and wonderful and blah blah blah, which is fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't say those things, but body neutrality is more like, my body is a vessel. It's made to do the things I want to do, and it's part of what makes me me, but it's not all of me.
Yes.
And like having a more neutral relationship towards it. And that way you can be objective when it's like, oh, for health reasons, for science, like, this extra weight on my body is not good for me, so I'm going to work on fixing that.
Right.
Versus like, I'm so ugly and fat, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like telling myself my body is fine. Like, I'm not ugly. People don't like me or dislike me because of the way that I look. Like, my body is fine. And I want to take care of my body. And I don't think been proactive about talking that way to myself and reminding myself that I'm fine and that like it's not my worth or my value. It's just good self-care to take care of myself and to exercise and to eat well. And if I mess up, like, it's okay and I'm fine and I'm gonna. Anyway,
right. But
I feel like
what is even messing up?
I feel like that's true. See, again, I think it does matter the way that you talk to yourself. I'm not saying you have to be like up your own butt about, oh, I used this word and blah, blah, blah. But like, I do think it matters, like, the language that you use to talk to yourself inwardly.
Yes. I do think
because
so too.
I think it's not that I've been like talking really negatively to myself. I just haven't been like proactive about like telling myself good things.
Yes,
you know?
right.
So.
Yeah, you're not like actively bad mouthing yourself, but you're also not encouraging. You're not encouraging yourself.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that too because I feel like I felt the same lull in motivation, and I felt like I had a really good grasp on this, how to mentally approach these issues in my life. Like, oh, like I'm doing really good, and I've kind of found this little path in my brain that allows me the freedom to not be perfect and do things badly and just do them, like just keep doing them. And I feel like I've kind of lost that over the last couple weeks, but I've started thinking about it in terms of conditioning, like your body. Maybe my brain is just going through conditioning, and like it's just in that point where like it's so exhausted from making progress that it just kind of needs to like...
Needs a little break.
Yeah, it needs a little break, and then it'll bounce back, and like when it bounces back, it'll be strong, and then like we can like make more moves forward. A lot of my thought processes have greatly benefited when I can unbuckle like my thought process from who I am as a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Like the way that you think like isn't who you are necessarily, like
like,
in a thought spiral kind of way. Like just because I'm thinking about these things doesn't mean this is how I actually think or feel.
Yes.
Like it's separate from
all the
me.
time.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's my brain functioning versus like me
like,
necessarily.
In like unbuckling this idea.
This is some high level stuff.
I know, man. We are getting our psychology degrees right here, right now. Psychology soup.
With an S. Psychology soup.
Psychology soup. A silent S at the beginning. But no, never mind. That doesn't work.
I was thinking we'd just spell it wrong. S-Y. Psychology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I think I had this false belief that every single thought that I have in my life is indicative of who I am as a person and like what kind of person I am.
Yes. So like because you have a random thought, this is what I struggle with, is if I have a random thought about like something inappropriate or doing something or saying something.
Yes.
And you have that random like blip thought and you're like, oh, I'm a psychopath. Like I'm a terrible person.
Right.
Like I can't believe I just thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Those are our thoughts.
On
body image. Anyway, welcome to Good Soup.
Welcome
to Good Soup. Just kidding. This
Good
is the end.
Night, nurse. It is the end. Someone stop me. Well,
somebody stop me. Keep my body rocking till late night. I wanted you. Anybody ever watched What a Girl Wants?
Oh,
I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that's from that movie.
Amanda Bynes. All the way.
All the way.
All the way.
Speaking of body image, that movie was terrible for mine.
Oh, yeah.
She's so cute and
she
petite
is so cute.
and little, and I love it, and I wanted to be that. And as a chunky little 6th grader, it was very inaccessible to me.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Oh well.
We move on.
Alas.
The love interest in that movie's name is Ian, and I'm married to an Ian, so I'm living out
who gets the dream now.
my What a Girl Wants dream. Except I have a dad, so
suck it.
What a girl wants is a dad. That is kind of the meaning of that, isn't it?
Okay.
Like what a girl wants is a dad. She wants her dad.
Mind blown. I never knew.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will say I have also been learning about the importance of mothers in infants.
What?
I'm just saying, I think societally, we put a lot of importance on fathers being in the picture, which is not untrue. But there is science behind moms being super, 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 super crucial to babies' development and connection and emotions.
Yes, mothers are incredible. I love moms. Moms are the best. Yes. Also, fun fact, no pressure to anybody, but how your mom views her body and her relationship with food heavily impacts her daughters. I don't know what the science is behind that, but I have seen that quoted of like that it is statistically more relevant. If your own mother has a bad relationship with her body, or food, or talks, negatively about herself out loud.
That's the thing. Do you think it has to be like vocally present all the time, or do you think even just how a mother feels about her body, even if she's not like super vocal about it all the time, do you think that still impacts?
I do.
Me too.
Cool. No, I do. I think it's kind of tied to that thing that I was just saying of like I haven't been negative about my body necessarily, but I haven't been proactively kind to myself and reminding myself of truth. And I think that that's true in that same mom dynamic as well. As like, I don't think she has to speak negatively, but if she's not promoting positive, well, I guess I'm acting really cryptic and weird. I have the literal best mom in the world. She is an actual angel sent from heaven above. Yes. She never talked negatively about her body. Yeah. But she never talked positively about her body. Right. And she also, I'm saying this, and I know she could possibly listen. I don't think she listens to the podcast, but I don't want to just say stuff out there like it's in a vacuum and no one will ever hear it, or my mom will never hear it. Yeah. But I do think that it seems to me from the outside, Mom, if you're listening, it seems to me that maybe she doesn't have a great relationship with her body. Okay. And just in that, like, I'm not going to get into it again just because I don't know what and if we'll get back to my mom, and I don't want to have this conversation be one-sided. Right. But just a couple of things that she has said to me throughout the years, or just the fact that at 11 years old, I wanted to join Weight Watchers, and she was like, cool. Like, and again, I'm not saying like that was a bad decision, Mom, but I think that like maybe her understanding of like what's healthy and normal in regards to your weight as a woman was affected, because I mean I think we all are. How not, yeah. Exactly. And so I personally, I don't think it's my mom's fault or my mom's influence that caused me to have these relationship issues with my body or with food. I don't think it's her fault at all. But if there is a connection, I think that it could be fostered just purely by a lack of positive reinforcement when it comes to sorry, there's Tuna. That was Chris's dog. Like eating a balanced diet, having a like your body is beautiful even if, or like, I don't know exactly. I am not trying to say there's things that like, oh, I wish she had done this or whatever. Like, I think she was totally fine, but that was not an area that she was like super, super positive in, of like, this is how I want you to feel about your body. This is how I want you to feel about food. This is how I feel about my body. This is how I feel about food. And so I think it could have been helpful. Yes. And I, as a mom, think that it could be I'm not a mom, but I, as
when you are
possibly, if I ever have that opportunity, I think that it would be on my mind to want to have a positive talk about my body and about food and that sort of thing.
I just had a great idea. Okay. And I don't know if you'll think it's a great idea. I think we should have your mom on the podcast.
I do think that's a great idea. I love my mom. I would love to have her on the podcast.
I think she would be a great guest to have on.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll look into it. Coming soon, guys. Yo. Hopefully we'll get Danae on here.
That'd be awesome.
Do you want to pick a soup of the day before we sign out?
Yeah.
I can go first if you want.
Yes, please go first.
Okay. I am feeling a specific bowl of soup today, and I want you to really connect with me on this visual
Okay.
and on this idea.
Okay.
So the other day I made pasta e fagioli. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's basically like a
Sounds right to me.
stew with beans and like turkey and little pastas, and it was really, really good. I had a great time eating that. And I don't know why I said that, but anyway, so I put a bowl in our refrigerator, and it got pushed to the back of the refrigerator, and I forgot about it. And I found it the other day, and it was moldy.
No.
And I was very sad.
No. I thought that was gonna have a way different
I know.
outcome.
I could tell.
Gosh,
I could
dang
tell.
it. Okay.
Yeah. No. So I feel like a pretty good bowl of soup, but I'm just cold and a little moldy.
Oh my gosh.
So and Tuna agrees with me.
She does. Oh man. All right. I could feel that. I feel like a cold bowl also of tomato soup.
Oh.
Because whilst loving tomato soup, and it's a classic, and it just gets the job done when you need it to, I feel excited that I feel the best I've felt in like 5 or 6 days today. But I still feel kind of crummy. I still can't really hear out of one of my ears, which is the bane of my existence.
Yeah, that sucks.
It really does. And it's Valentine's Day. So I'm excited.
And it's your first Valentine's Day together
I know.
as a couple.
This is a fun fact. Evan and I have been basically dating for 2 years.
That's
I
not
know.
real.
I know.
I know that's not. I thought of that the other day, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, because you took that like a couple
Right.
months off. They weren't together for just a couple months and then got back together.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's almost been a year probably. Like not
2.
doing the math. It's been almost
It's
2.
almost been a year since we got back
Together.
together after the break. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God,
crazy.
that's crazy
I
that you
know.
had a boyfriend for almost. That's a long time.
No, it's
That's
crazy.
a long time.
So we've been dating for almost 2 years. We took a break from January to April of 24. So we started dating April of 23, broke up January of 24, got back together April of 24, almost the same day we started dating originally, which is funny. And then we've been together ever since then. But we've essentially
in
been
April
together.
will be 2 years since you
2
first
years,
got together.
and we've never had Valentine's Day together.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? And this year in March will be the first time that we've been together for his birthday as well.
Right. Oh yeah.
We've been together for 2 of my birthdays and none of his.
Oh, that's
I
good.
think that's funny. So anyway, I'm excited about Valentine's Day, and I'm excited for the movies. We're gonna go see a movie and stuff like that. And he said we can walk around the mall and see if I like want to get anything. So I'm very excited about that.
That sounds really fun.
But I still am sick, so it's like yummy. But, I wish this was hot and with a grilled cheese sandwich on the side.
Oh, true.
You know, but it's just the tomato soup cold.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good one.
Thanks.
I like that.
Well,
All right.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be back next week
We
with
will be
hopefully
back.
both hot bowls of soup. We're giving cold soup. Next week, hopefully there'll be hot soup.
Gosh, and hopefully this cough will be gone.
Yeah.
Also, my laugh changes when I'm sick. Does
Yeah.
that happen to you?
I don't know. I haven't been sick in a long time.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, you haven't thrown up in like years.
I haven't thrown up in 3 years. We'll talk about that
next
time.
on Good Soup.
Oh wait, 4. It's been 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
4 years and something years ago.
Anyway.
That's crazy. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye.